Hello everybody, welcome back to another Rainbow Six Cringe episode. Now, I did promise that someday I will do a video about operators and aspects of the lore that I like, and we'll get to that another day. Today is not that today, because today it's time to analyze the new operator for Rainbow Six Siege. That's right, he's an attacker named Grimm from Singapore. He's working for Nighthaven though, so that makes him the bad guy, so to speak. Well, I've said my piece about Nighthaven in a previous video, so we'll leave that alone for now. But anyway, let's start by taking a look at his character sheet, and we will go from there, shall we? Let's go ahead and pull that up. So, we're looking at him here, and he looks pretty solid, kind of a badass kind of look. He's got the whole anime nose bandage thing going on here, but that's fine. And his operator icon is a bee. That's because his gadget is bees. Yes, there is a reason for the title. This guy basically uses that gun strapped to his shoulder to launch canisters filled with little microchips that buzz around in place, and if a defender runs through them, they will automatically swarm around that defender, letting the attackers know where they are for the duration that they're in there. So literally, his gadget is bees. Bees. I'm not entirely sure why he's called Grimm. That's a question that I think should be asked, but you know what? We're going to ignore that. There's some odd naming choices here, but let's see how his bio is. That's my specialty anyway. Let's take a look at his biography. Get out of my way. What a quote, right? I could put that on a t-shirt. Get out of my way. Growing up in Jurong, Singapore, King Boon could often be found in the wilderness learning and practicing the skills he was taught by his survivalist father. At 18, he was conscripted into national service and thrust into the NDU, Singapore's elite naval special force formation. A prime candidate for the Frogman School, FMS, King Boon's endurance and focus assured successful completion of FMS training and advancement to the Clearance Diving Group, CDG. As part of the Naval Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit, EOD, King Boon worked closely with countermeasure platforms. He then attended the SAF Military Intelligence Institute School of Army Reconnaissance, where, as the eyes and ears of the SAF, he was trained to be stealthy, obtain information, and provide accurate and timely intelligence reports. His skills in reconnaissance and security brought King Boon to Kali's attention as a potential Nighthaven agent. Well, you know what? I'll be honest. Nothing really bad there per se. It all seems okay. Was a wilderness expert thanks to time with his father. At 18, he was conscripted into the military, and from there he has a pretty stellar military record, right? Now, we have to move on to the psych report now, but this time it's not Harry doing the psych report. It's a Nighthaven Psych Division person, if you read down there. Nighthaven Psych Division. I don't like that, first of all. Look, while I think Harry is kind of a dumbass, I liked that he had a personality and could incorporate a bit of himself into his own psych reports. It felt like he cared about his operators and wanted to understand them more, and thus, I liked his more personable attitude towards them. Making it just Psych Division takes away some of the personality. It doesn't indicate a compassion for the operators, but just a directive. Anyway, moving on. Let's go ahead and read the psych report. Agent Charlie Tho Grimm King Boon, what a mouthful by the way, is a difficult man to get to know, let alone bond with. Within minutes of our initial meeting, I had the sense he was conducting his own evaluation. There is a coldness to him that makes me wonder what would have occurred had I not met his qualifications. Well, this is meaningless. I don't know who you are, so how can I know or care about whether or not you meet Grimm's qualifications? This is what I mean by just having some nameless psych team doing this, taking away a bit of it. But, I mean, you know it couldn't be Kali doing this psych evaluation, right? For one thing, we know she isn't qualified to hand out psych evaluations. And for another thing, she has to get in her little arrogant quips here and there, right? Doesn't she? I'm fully expecting that. But anyway, let's keep moving. Even as a child, King Boon displayed a predatory disposition. When he talked about afternoons spent helping his mother tend her beehives, he referred to an incident worth exploring. First of all, I thought that you said in his biography that he spent most of his time with his father in the wilderness, but ignoring that, his mother tended beehives? Come on, really? So his gadget that has to do with bees is because his mother tended to beehives? Is that how that works? So let me guess, was Asami, that new Japanese operator, she throws kunai with concrete in it. Was her father a concrete contractor? Oh, is she my long-lost Japanese sister? Is Lion now gonna have like a pet lion named Simba at home? That's how he got his name. Is it gonna be that Jackal secretly has a thing for dogs? He's secretly a furry. Why isn't it his mom tended beehives and now his gadget is bees? Okay, moving on. One of those afternoons was interrupted by an armed assailant. Using a strategy he observed in bees, Ken Boone took down the man who was twice his size by focusing on the sensitive areas around the head. A couple questions. Just a few questions, sorry. One, okay, so your mom owns a beehive or two. You watch these bees enough, you recognize their attack strategies, and even had the time and thought to apply this strategy of a hive to a one-on-one fight? Two, how often do you see bees attack people or animals to recognize this specific attack strategy? Is this just something you can notice over time? Like, do the bees regularly attack people to the point that you can say, okay, I now know how they attack people? Three, how old are you in this flashback? I mean, if you're half this dude's size, given you're from Singapore, and the average male height in Singapore is around 5.5 feet, that would put you at about 2 to 3 feet tall, meaning you'd be a child at this point. So, how hard are you hitting this guy? How high are you jumping to hit his head? And how do you know the sensitive areas around his head to even aim for them? Like, how do you know where these sensitive areas are? Did you spend a lot of time as a kid analyzing the weaknesses of the human head? No, I'm not done. Fourth, you learn this from bees? Here's an idea. Throw one of the hives at him. Then you can see how bees operate. I know most bees tend to attack anything they can get. Fifth, yes, we're going to fifth here. What was the armed assailant after when he attacked? Honey? Who was he? Winnie the Pooh? Oh, well, that makes sense now. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm not going to call this a Mary Sue trait because I have no idea how this even connects. I want y'all to think about what that just said. As a little kid, he used to help his mom tend to beehives. One day, a dude, just this random dude, twice his size, shows up to attack his mom with a weapon. It says armed, so we don't know if it's like a knife, a baseball bat, or a gun, but comes to attack his mom, and then he, using the strategy of a hive of bees that he spent his whole life studying, attacks this man, again, twice his size, by hitting him in specific weak spots in the head to bring him down. Forgetting that he's twice his size, so he'd probably have trouble reaching that high. Forgetting that it's really hard to analyze the attack strategies of bees as a kid, let alone at all. And three, this dude just shows up out of nowhere. Move on. I can't even move on. His aggression was so precise and overwhelming. Sure it was, that his mother's attacker never recovered from the resulting coma. Yeah, no, pressing X to doubt on that. Not true. Some kid hits a guy in the head repeatedly to the point he never wakes up from a coma? Right, sure. I guess it really was Winnie the Pooh. Christopher Robin is going to be so sad. Wasn't this guy armed too? Why didn't he hit the kid back? Okay, all right, I'm good. Okay, sorry. Moving on. Okay. When I asked if this event affects him today, King Boone answered no.
This bulletproof dialogue. She goes on and on. He's just. No.
Wow, did this event of you beating up a guy who was attacking your mom and you used bee kung fu techniques, the mystic art of bee fu, to take him down, did that have any kind of effect on you today? No. Whether guilt regarding the event was dismissed or present at all is undetermined. Despite his lack of sociability, you know, if I spent my whole life around bees and out in the wilderness with my father, I think I'd have a lack of social skills. He demonstrates no discomfort working within a combat unit. In Redacted, Commander Redacted states, King Boone's ruthlessness is an asset to Redacted. The Redacted casualties resulting from Redacted were justifiable risks with no unsanctioned kills. What does that mean? No unsanctioned kills, but there were still casualties considered justifiable risks. The implication, therefore, is civilians or bystanders, people who are not targets. But still, he did nothing unsanctioned. Does that not scream warning to anyone else? Not only did he cause casualties considered justifiable and sanctioned, but the way they are talked about implies they are non-combatants at least, and at most, non-targets. This is a major problem. If I was recruiting this guy, I'd be going, warning, warning, sociopath alert. Okay, moving on. Despite Redacted's brutality, why are they saying Redacted's brutality? They're talking about Grimm. Just say King Boone's name. Despite Redacted's brutality, he knows the rules and operates within them. What? I thought Nighthaven was all about breaking rules. Didn't Kali say conforming only hinders progress? I thought that was the point here. Nighthaven doesn't play by any rules and only does what's necessary to get the job done. Why hire a dude who operates within the rules? And what do you mean he operates within the rules? This guy seems like a sociopath. Nighthaven, you're stupid enough on your own. Don't have me come in to remind you to wear the I'm Special t-shirts. Okay, moving on. He seems to regard other soldiers as tools in his well-assembled arsenal, deploying them in dehumanizing yet effective manner. I would focus on the dehumanizing part. I admit to some concerns regarding Agent King Boone. Nah, you think? His sense of detachment could signal unaddressed traumas that diminish his efficiency in the field. Agreed! This is a major indicator of a problem. A psych evaluation is all about understanding who is good for the squad and who isn't. From the look of things, King Boone is a threat. He has near sociopathic tendencies, sees his squad mates as tools and not truly human, was killing as a child, and was guilty of sanctioned murder under an organization that refused to give its name. These are warning bells, people. The fact that Nighthaven would be interested in this guy speaks volumes for the amount of wrong that they are. Oh, then we get this quote here, this comment from Kali. His tough exterior doesn't come from any unaddressed trauma. He just doesn't give a shit. I knew you'd want to get in your little arrogant BS, Kali. I knew you would. And this also proves why you shouldn't be a psych evaluator. The he doesn't give a shit response doesn't explain why he doesn't give a shit. I mean, it's clear he doesn't. It's clear he doesn't give a shit, but why? What happened to make him not give a shit? If nothing happened, if there is no trauma, then my conclusion is he's a sociopath. Which begs the question, do you routinely hire sociopaths? Is that your goal? Gosh, and people think you're a reckless bad guy? I'm shocked! Let's finish this up. I did expect some friction in the lab with Yankovic, given how protective she is of her space. I think Yankovic is Osa. So far, he's displayed nothing beyond exemplary professionalism. While she does most of the talking and King Boone all the frowning, there seems to be a mutual understanding between them. Yankovic was even seen reading a detective novel that was previously on King Boone's desk. So he's a sociopath who routinely sees his comrades as tools to be used, barely human, but he has a working relationship with Osa, the Mary Sue. Consistency's a joke, isn't it? That's what it is in Rainbow Six Siege. Consistency's a freaking joke. Okay, alright, so we got through the biography and the psych evaluation. Let me just say this. It's a joke. I'm not going to call him a Gary Stu. He's not. And I'm not going to say this is the worst. Actually, if I'm being 100% honest, this is one of my favorite ones so far. Honestly, it really is. It's hilarious. So much of this just doesn't add up. So much of this is just so forced. Like, the fact that his gadget is bees, it's because he worked with bees as a child. The fact that he took down some random armed assailant of his mother, who he beat using bee tactics. The fact that he suffered no childhood trauma or previous trauma that would lead to his sociopathic tendencies, and Kali is 100% okay with it, even though the psych evaluator, who she hired for this job, says, I have concerns. Kali, he just doesn't give a shit. Let him in. Like, just... The fact that he gets along with Osa, even though it says that he treats his comrades as tools or weapons in his arsenal. it's also baffling. It's ridiculous. And yet it's hysterical. It's so funny. And you know what? I'll give it this. There are flaws in his character. He is sociopathic. He does have clear issues working with others. He does seem to have some drawbacks. There's some definite flaws to his character, so we can give him that. And I can even say that his gadget is somewhat unique. I don't see it as feasibly possible, but it's still somewhat unique. There is something here. There's something to this guy, which I can't say for half of the other new operators that we've seen since I started the series. So at least I'll give him that. I don't hate this guy. I think he's hilarious. He is a giant joke. But we're not done, guys. We are not done. I waited to release this video because I wanted to let them release his animated trailer like they've been doing recently with their lore. So today we're going to take a look at that trailer too. You ready? Let's switch over to his trailer. Come on, guys. Let's have some more fun with this.
Was hit hard. He'll live. Server room, identify perimeter breach. Over.
Where you go? Where you go?
Withdraw your men. Say again, Grimm. I'm going in.
I hate the lone wolf thing. It's really cliche, very annoying. Oh, by the way, that guy standing with him is actually Smoke. Yeah, so Smoke is officially part of Night Haven now. I think we all knew that. What a shame. What a shame. IQ's in there too somewhere, I'm sure, but anyway, whatever. Alright, so he's going in alone. Let's see how he handles it. Oh, holy back up. What are you doing? I thought you were some kind of super skilled soldier. You're entering a hostile zone by yourself. Bad idea, by the way. Where you know an enemy is waiting that the soldiers earlier could not see coming and were having trouble with. And you're walking like you're just taking a stroll. Your gun is by your side. You're not in any defensive position. You deserve to be shot in the face. Ooh, that looks like Knock. So Knock just knocked on his door, dropped down, stabbed him in the leg, and in response, he grunts and clutches his leg while she escapes. I personally would have screamed "ow" at that, but you know, I guess that's for lesser people.
My turn.
What's going on?
All right, to his credit, that was a smart move. He did put on a tourniquet. He didn't just start chasing after her, because if you try to run, here's the thing, guys. People just think like, oh, you get stabbed, that's not such a big deal. But think about it. When you stab someone, you're not just cutting open the skin. You're cutting into flesh. You're cutting into muscle. You're possibly cutting close to the bone. You're cutting a lot of nerve endings. That's really painful. Like, just running would be very difficult. Standing up would be very difficult. That's why you limp when you injure your leg, right? So he's probably going to be, if he's not limping, he's got to be crawling or something. So putting on a tourniquet, what he should do now is radio the outside and let them know that he's injured, lock down the area so that the enemy can't escape, and then call in backup. That's exactly what he should do right now. Tourniquet your leg, sit down, stop the bleeding, call in for backup. That would be the smart move to do here. Or not, he'll just run after and then jump and land on a severely injured leg. No screaming, no shouting, not even a limp. What's this dude made of? Was I wrong about saying he's not a Gary Stu? That doesn't seem right to me. Doc, did you accidentally inject this guy? You know he's the bad guy, right?
What the? Impossible.
Didn't think you spooked this easy.
Micro recon drones. Cute.
You dumb bitch. Yeah, he might not have done that if you'd shut up and hit him. Dear God, do all women in Rainbow Six Siege have to make stupid one-liners before they do anything? And what kind of one-liner was that anyway? Micro recon drones? Cute. So micro recon drones are cute. Yeah, I can see that. On the same level as puppies or kittens, you know. Cute, mundane, something you'd see any other day on the side of the street, right? This obviously isn't freaking science fiction level tech. No, it's just cute. You just see these every day, don't you?
You forgot this. that a key on your jugular?
Sorry. Sorry. Couple questions. One, cool fight scene, bro. Why didn't anyone pull a gun? I think either one of them could pull a gun in this instance and the problem's solved. Okay, two, why even ask for the data key? I thought you were like a sociopath who knew all the weaknesses of the human head. Stab her and be done with it. You work for Nighthaven, remember? Sanctioned killing, wasn't that your thing? Three, what the hell kind of stance is Nock taking? I've never seen that in any competent martial arts brought on. I wouldn't see that in a martial arts competition, and I wouldn't see that in a military soldier. Your hands are not in a defensive posture, and it looks like you're directing traffic for... Why'd you kick off that explosion? You could have died too. You both now have massive concussion trauma to your head and back. Grimm's back is burnt to a crisp. Both of you are unable to stand. You're both suffering from tinnitus now. You're having ring in your ears if your eardrums aren't burst, possibly bleeding from the ears. You can't see very well. You're going to have trouble standing up, let alone seeing straight or hear clearly. You're not going to be able to...
You were saying?
Oh, wait, right, I forgot you're all superhuman. She even makes one more stupid quip. Shoot her, you dingbat! Shoot her while she's an obvious gloating target! Kill, you pitiful excuse for a soldier!
What was on that server?
QCR shipment records. Question is, who wants eyes on it? And why?
Oh, man, I thought that would have been obvious, man. It's Nock and Sam Fisher. Given Smoke's knowledge of Rainbow, he'd obviously know them and their MO. But even then, Nighthaven has to know that Rainbow is after them, so why is this even a question? You should know exactly who had motive and ability to break into your station. He should know who and why. I mean, let's face it, Nighthaven was working hand in hand with Rainbow. They know your security now to some extent. And Nock and Sam Fisher are kind of the king and queen of infiltration. They want intel and are getting it. And you prove your complete incompetence. Guys, I love this trailer. I don't know if you could tell, but I love this trailer. This was hilarious. Now, let me actually make a few things clear. Let me actually say some good things about the trailer. For one thing, I like the fact that even though it's supposed to be showcasing the new operator, it didn't make them out to be perfect. It showed that they had to be inventive and creative with how they handled the problem. They couldn't just rely on their gadget to get the work done. I also like the fact that he took things a bit more seriously than Sins or Osa did, so I can definitely say that that's a plus, so a credit there. But the other side to this is I don't like how... I mean, the whole goal is to showcase the operator. You didn't show his gadget working, which I think is a little odd. Wouldn't you want to at least show it working, you know, showing that it's a useful gadget? All I saw here was, oh, wow, that thing didn't work at all. Maybe it's because he was using it on Nock, and Nock's an attacker. Maybe that's why. The other thing is, there were just parts of it that I just thought, this defies reality. This is kind of stupid. I mean, it's one thing to laugh in the face of danger. It's another thing to pretend like there is no danger at all. Why did Nock make those stupid one-liners? Why did she detonate an explosion so close to them that it could have easily incapacitated or killed both of them? Like, there's a lot here that doesn't make a lot of sense, especially the idea that Smoke is going, who was it? What was going on? Come on, Smoke. You used to work with these people, and you don't know what they're capable of or what they do? Really? Really? Smoke, I thought you were smarter than this. Did the gas go to your head? Anyway, guys, that's all I got to say for this one. So, what are my thoughts? I'm interested. No, I'll be real honest. I'm interested. Grimm is definitely a step up from some of the others we've seen before. He's still pretty bad, but at least he's not egregious or insulting. It's just silly. It just makes me laugh. Reminds me a bit of Flores. It's one of the... Like, Flores is just a thief that they brought on with a counter-terrorist organization. That's not insulting, that's just stupid. That's funny to me. And it's the same thing here. This is just stupid and funny to me. You brought in a former beekeeper with sociopathic tendencies who put a man in a coma twice his size who is armed using bee kung fu and is now so in love with bees he now uses a gadget that is all about bees. How can you not find this hysterical? With the other, like with Osa and Sins, it's just insulting. With this, it's hysterical. This is funny. This is really, really funny. I hope you guys found it as funny as I did, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next video. Hopefully sometime soon I'll actually do a video about a Rainbow Six operator that I like. Someone remind me to do that, please. I really probably should do that at some point. Anyway, take care, you guys.